I want to talk to you about one of my favorite things, the dream ballet. A dream ballet is an extended dance sequence without dialogue or singing. It takes place in a heightened or alternate reality outside the reality of a film or a musical. It's different from a musical sequence or a performance of a song. There's no singing and usually no talking. It really exists within the imagination of a character. It doesn't have to be a literal dream. They don't have to go to sleep and then wake up. It's a metaphor and it represents the goings on in the subconscious mind. These are some examples of dream ballets that you might know. The Dream Ballet in Oklahoma is broadly considered to be the first fully integrated dream ballet. It is 20 minutes long and you can watch the whole thing on YouTube for free. I'd really encourage you to watch it. I think that it is so beautiful. The Oklahoma Dream Ballet tells a story about fear and sexual curiosity, and the score is beautiful, the choreography is beautiful. Would highly recommend you watch it. Dream ballets became really popular in the golden age of musical theatre from the 40s through to the 60s. There was a lot of other stuff happening in culture at that time. Obviously war, the rise of Freudian psychology, surrealism, and just broadly more of a cultural interest in psychoanalysis. This cultural context probably explains why dream ballets landed so well with audiences at the time. Using art to explore what meaning can be imbued in our dreams. I feel that we are currently in an era of obsession with similar things, after the pandemic, war, sort of the resultant mental health crises that we have seen. This obviously places significance on how we explore our inner lives through art or through content. And also I think in pop culture at the moment, we love interpretation and reinterpretation, memification, multiverses, recontextualizing, reimagining things. I think because of that, dream ballets shouldn't be left as relics of the golden age of musical theatre. Recently in film, we've seen them in La La Land and Maestro, and they're great, but they are obviously films that are very nostalgic and try to recreate the artistry of that golden age. But I think that dream ballets could be very powerful modern storytelling tools for modern audiences. And I think also it would be good for us as audiences to be freed of this requirement for literal interpretation of media. The recent backlash against films like Poor Things, for example, are depicting obviously fantastical surrealist worlds. I've seen criticism of that movie along the lines of it's disturbing and we don't want to see things like a woman with the mind of a child dealing with sexual exploitation. Just deeply literal interpretations of things. Events in that movie did not happen and could not happen in real life. And I think we should allow ourselves to be uncomfortable and think beyond the literal meaning of something. This is relevant to my argument because dance as an art form defies literal interpretation. There is no factual meaning of a pirouette. So I think re-emphasizing using dream ballets, the idea that not everything has a literal meaning or literal interpretation would be good for humanity. It's not at all a new idea that games and theatre are very similar. Brenda Laurel wrote a book about this before I was even born. They're mediums that require collaboration between the art and the audience. They're mediums that both leverage flow state to create immersive, transformative experiences. Dream ballets were born in the theatre 100 years ago, and I think it's time that they mature into games. I feel strongly then that we should see more dream ballets in games than we do. I think games are a great medium for dream ballets to be reimagined and retooled into something new and interesting for modern audiences. So in summary, consider having a dream ballet in your next game. Consider even just as an exercise how you could advance your characters using only music and movement. Free yourself of the literal world and shut the hell up and dance.